we mentioned that Humboldts are monogamous.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one told Rico's dad that they're supposed to be monogamous. So what he was doing, he would. Now he's a good father. He's like I say, he's been the father of many chicks here. But last year, for some reason, he was. We found that he took a liking to another penguin called Toodles, who was over there a few minutes ago. So what we found he was doing, he was spending his night times at home with his wife and child, and then in the daytimes he was going off with Toodles and spending time in her nest box.
Naughty boy.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. We're here today at Peak Wildlife Park, here in the heart of Staffordshire. It's about a 10-minute journey from Alton Towers, and I definitely recommend it if you are doing Alton Towers over the weekend. So prices here at Peak are really affordable. You've got adult tickets at $14.95, children $12.95, and you've got kind of things like student discount and OAP discount at $12.95 as well. Your opening hours as well are really good, so it's 10 till 5 PM Monday to Friday and 10 till 6 on a Saturday and Sunday. And one of the big things about Peak Wildlife is that they let you walk with the animals, so we're going to get to walk today with penguins, wallabies, lemurs and squirrels as well now. Let's go. So one of the awesome things about the park is they also do a talk and feed for all the different animals they've got. I've got here listed all the ones they're doing today. We are a little bit late, so we're not going to be able to see the black-nosed sheep. Hopefully we get to catch one of the others. The penguins, Lindsay's favourite animal, so if we get to the penguins. But yeah, they got quite a few. They got tapirs, sika deer, meerkats, lemurs as well. So yeah, we'll hopefully grab a couple of talks and film a bit of the footage for you. The park is called the African Village. It's quite well themed. Like I say, you've got your meerkat area. They're not out at the moment though. You've got your African goats. No. You can walk with the goats as well, which is nice. So we can get up close and personal with a few goats. So yeah, once again we've got the double-sided gates to make sure nothing escapes. This one's tricky. So let's see this one. So we're in with the goats now. Got the goats all chilling about here. I don't know if you can see here, but we've got a lookout meerkat on the top of this rock. They always have at least one lookout just to make sure there's no predators about to protect the rest of the pack. So we made it over to the penguin area. Got a nice underwater viewing area under here. See what we can see if we can see any penguins about.
I was biting his foot.
Oh yeah. Couple having a swim.
I love them.
It's getting close to feeding time.
Are you sure we can't have one?
A penguin?
It could live in the bathroom, Barney could play with it.
You need a much bigger area for penguins.
Not for a little one. Oh, we just starved it. I love them, I do. Hello, poser. Yeah. Hey mate. See, he wants to come and live in my bath. That's why he keeps coming to me. I'm the penguin rescue here.
Got a big viewing platform, haven't they, above us? So yeah, there's a viewing platform up the top as well. Get a better view of the penguins.
Under the shelf a bit and have a look at them. Can we guys? Yeah. Hey buddy.
It's not quite a big enclosure, haven't they, because it's all the way over there as well.
Yeah, because we can walk free, can't we?
Yeah.
Hey buddy.
I don't know if they ever do come out and walk, but definitely got the option to walk all the way around there. So what are these types of penguins called? So these are Humboldt penguins. They live in Argentina, don't they?
Let's go and see those llamas. There's 3 llamas.
Or Dave, if you wanted to go and watch them down there, look.
So yeah, I think that down there they do the talk, so we'll go down there and have a look. Yeah, we're going into the enclosure now where you can walk with penguins. What? Penguin crossing. So this is where the
Hi everybody, can you hear me okay up there at the top? Smashing. So welcome to Peak Wildlife Park and welcome to our penguin talking feed. My name's Jazz and I'm joined by my lovely assistant Mike, who's currently feeding the penguins. So what we're going to do is feed the penguins down here at the bottom pool and then we'll wander up to those ones up there. So don't worry guys if you're at the top. We will be up there very shortly to feed them. We'll just see how hungry these ones are at the bottom. So here at the park we have a colony of actually now 22 penguins. We've had 1 chick this year, so we've had a little addition to our Humboldt penguin family. So like I said, these are Humboldt penguins and these live in South America. Now does anybody know you can get penguins in South America? Yeah? That's good. So most people think that penguins actually come from a cold and icy place. But our lovely Humboldts will actually live in a similar habitat to this on the coast of Chile and Peru. So it's very, very rocky outcrops and a little mixture of substrates. So it's got to be sand, rocks, grass, and the such. So we've tried to replicate that as much as possible here at the park. So it's not unusual to see our penguins taking full advantage of this enclosure. So you might actually see our penguins up the top up there. You can see we've got this rope here, but this is actually designed so our penguins can go whenever they want. Especially during this and our breeding season, it's very important our penguins can exercise those natural behaviours and they'll go out gathering up nesting material. So if you do see one of our penguins on that side of the rope there, maybe with a leaf or twig in its mouth, please give it some space and just make sure it can get back to the beach because chances are it left its partner guarding the nest and they're going to want to get back to their home and make their little nest boxes as beautiful and homely as possible for those babies. So you can see we've got our lovely nest boxes on the beach, nice and bright and colourful, and sometimes our penguins do like to wander up on top of these hills as well on occasion. So do keep your eyes peeled as you're walking around and you might see our penguins up to a little bit of mischief and usually just tend to be some more than others. Now, can anybody tell me what penguins eat? You can shout it out if you want.
Fish!
That was rubbish, guys. I didn't hear anybody at the top there. Can anyone tell me what penguins eat?
Fish!
Well done. Now, our penguins love to eat a type of fish called a sprat. Now, it's the only fish they'll eat here at the park. Out in the wild, these penguins have a very varied diet. However, our penguins are very, very fussy. We've tried lots of different types of food, they only want to eat sprats. They eat sprats for breakfast, sprats for lunch, and sprats in the evening. They can't get enough of them. But out in the wild, they would eat, I say that now, they're just ignoring the fish we're putting up there. Out in the wild, they eat a variety of different fish species, and even crustaceans and even squid. So these guys are very, very good hunters. They can hunt all different types of fish. Obviously here in the zoo we don't feed them live fish, we get them frozen in a box, so we try and do different ways to stimulate their feeding. So Mike's feeding them on the land at the moment. This is really good because that means we get to health check our penguins. We can have a really good look at their tummies, see if they're all healthy, see if they're washing properly and have a really good look at them. And then sometimes what we'll do is feed them in the water, and that'll get them using those natural behaviours, those hunting instincts, and they'll be able to swim around. So if there's some at the top there, Mike will probably throw a few fish in the water and be able to see them swimming around and how good they are for that life in the water. Now, can anyone tell me what colour penguins are? You can shout it out.
White and black.
Again, I couldn't hear that. What colour are penguins?
White and black. Black and white.
Black and white, well done. Now, does anybody know why penguins are black and white? Begins with the word beginning with C. Camouflage, well done. So there are some other animals that live in the ocean that are black and white, like maybe an orca or maybe even a shark as well, and that is to do with that habitat they live in. So you might be able to see it better if you're at the top pool there. If you're looking into that water and you can see those penguins swimming around, the back of their back actually matches the ocean floor. So that means if a predator's swimming above and looks down, that penguin's going to perfectly match it with the deepness, darkness of the ocean. And again, if they look up at that penguin's belly, the white of that is going to look like the sky, lots of light coming through. So it's going to be a lot harder for predators or even prey to be able to spot them. So it's very, very handy. And you can see that that type of adaptation has repeated itself throughout science, especially in the ocean there. So a few different examples of that. Now, does anybody know how we tell our penguins apart? Because they all look pretty similar, don't they? Yeah? They do. Some of them do have little bands on them. I don't think there's any down here, but at the top pool there you might see a penguin with a red band on its wing. Now that could either be Moor or Shelby, and the reason we do that is because when the chicks are born, they're very cute, they just fit in the palm of my hand, and they are just little grey balls of fluff. They have no distinguishing markings, it's really hard to tell them apart, and sometimes there might be two chicks in a nest. So what we do is we get a little band and just pop that around their wings so we know who's who, which means we can keep really good check on them, make sure everybody's healthy. And then as the penguins get older, they start to get those little spots on their bellies. Now those are like our fingerprints. If you look at your fingerprints and compare them to the person next to you, they're not going to be the same, they are unique. And that's just like the spots on our penguin's belly. So we'll try and point them out if we see that. But that's how we tell them apart. So when they get older, you might notice not all the penguins have bands. If they fall off, we don't replace them, and we can just tell who they are by those spots on their bellies. Now, as well as that, our penguins all have a little microchip in, just like your dog or cat might have at home. So it means if we're extra need to make sure, or maybe we're a little bit confused, and we can just give them a little scan, just a little beep, and it comes up with this big long number. And we have a big database on our computers with every single animal in, so we can find out who's who. And on there we put all that important information. So we weigh our chicks and when they're growing up to make sure that parents are feeding them properly, and we'll put that on that computer, which means we can make sure that we're giving our animals the best care we possibly can. Now, you might notice that our penguins look a little bit scruffy at the moment. Now that is because our penguins are coming into molt. Does anybody know what that is? Yeah?
It means so their old feathers drop off and they go new ones.
That's right, so our penguins are losing their old feathers. Now we've got Rico, who's in the depths of molt, he's walking over now. He's our chick from last year. I'll point him out when he comes over. But basically what happens is, the penguins are going to lose all those feathers. Now penguins' feathers are waterproof, so those lovely dark coloured feathers we see on them are kind of like a big wetsuit. So underneath they've got lots of fluffy downy feathers. We're going to keep them nice and toasty warm. And on top of that they've got these really, really thick, oily, waterproof feathers, which means that water can't penetrate through that. Water will never touch that penguin's skin. But obviously they can't keep the same feathers forever, and they actually have to lose them. So as we're coming into the season of molt now, our penguins get incredibly hungry. They will eat up to 20 to 30 kilograms of fish a day between the whole colony. Now that's because when they go into molt, they're not waterproof anymore. They've lost all their waterproof feathers, so they can't come for their food. So what they do now is they eat as much as they possibly can Rico actually gained almost 1 kilogram of weight when he was doing this. So we weigh Rico twice a week. He went up to 5 kilograms, which is the heaviest he's ever been. And that's because he's pushing out all of those old feathers and he's getting his new ones. So he's a bit grumpy, he's a bit like a teenager at the moment, Rico. It's his first molt, so he's got lots of hormones, and he kind of just wants us to stay out of the way unless he wants feed. So he is kind of like a proper teenager. So Rico's the first one going through molt, and if he does come out, I don't know if you'll be able to see him, but he looks a lot different to the penguins. He's got a white belly and he's got more of a grey mark, and he doesn't have the black and white markings yet, and that's because when he's gone through molt, he's going like one of these adult penguins, and those spots on his belly could change as well. So it's a very interesting time for him. He's very slow, he does. Come on, Rico! But lots of people come to see you. So he is very slowly making his way. He's looking at me, so hopefully he'll come over before the end of the talk. Now, does anybody know how fast a penguin can swim? Do you think 5 miles an hour or faster?
Faster.
10 miles an hour?
Faster.
20?
Faster.
30?
Faster.
Not as fast as 30. Penguins can actually swim up to 25 to 30 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. So if you're driving home later, maybe you can drive at 25 miles an hour and see how fast a penguin can actually swim. Now, when penguins are out on land, they are quite clumsy. They've not got the longest legs. They do trip over things a little bit easier. So if they panic or get scared, the penguins, the first thing they're going to do is run for that water. Now, sometimes that might mean jumping onto their belly and using their back feet to pedal themselves right down. But that's okay because they've got an exceptionally strong and large rib cage there. So that's actually designed for out in the wild there. They're going to be in that rough ocean. So they are designed to be able to withstand a bit of more hard force than other animals. And then when they're in the water, they can swim up to 25 miles an hour, sometimes even 30, and they can take right-hand turns when they're swimming around, which is very handy when they're hunting their fish or even evading predators. Orcas and seals do really, really like a lovely, tasty penguin. Not for us though, we want to keep our penguins as healthy and alive as long as possible, so luckily no predators here for them in England. Now, penguins, especially the Humboldt penguin, are becoming more and more endangered. So if you follow us on Facebook, you might have seen we're having a little naming competition for our penguin chick. And it was in this little nest box down here behind the bush. There's a little grey and pink nest box. Our chick is in there with his dad at the moment, but he has been coming out. He does look a little bit like Rico. He's a little bit more streamlined. He's probably the tidiest penguin at the moment. But we are giving our endangered penguins endangered names. So we're doing a little bit of a vote on Facebook at the moment, if you want to go on there and have a look. But we're just trying to raise awareness of how endangered these penguins actually are. Now, one of the main reasons penguins are becoming endangered out there in South America is due to overfishing. Lots of fishermen will go out there and they won't go that far off the coast, and they'll hunt lots and lots of fish, which means the penguins aren't going to have as much food. And as well as that, they'll leave residual fishing lines as well in the water, which of course penguins could get tangled in. Now, as well as that, another reason that penguins are becoming more endangered is because of their poo. Now, and you probably see the penguin poo around. It's not very nice. It stains everything and it's very, very smelly. It's actually called guano, and the penguins use it to keep their nests all together. So when they're out gathering their nesting materials, that perfect stick, that perfect leaf, you take it back to the nest and they actually poo on it. It's pretty disgusting. It doesn't smell the best, but it works. And they'll glue that nest together with all that poo, and then they'll lay their eggs in it and incubate them for 40 days. However, out there in Chile and Peru, farmers have realised that guano makes very, very good fertiliser, which means they'll go into that nesting area and actually destroy the penguins' nests and homes. So that might be even when there's chicks on there, eggs, or even adults who are trying to care for their young. So obviously that does have an effect on their livelihood. It means they can't produce as often as they want to, and that's going to have an effect on their population over the years. They only have 2 chicks in a litter, so it's already stacked against the penguins in that case. Some of them are better parents than others. We've got Belle coming over to Mike here. She's got lots of offspring here. She's done quite well for herself, but some of the penguins aren't as good as Belle at raising their young. So when people go and take their homes out there in the wild, that really, really doesn't help, and that does affect their population. Now here at the park, we're very passionate about penguins. You might see it's on our logo. We've got a fantastic enclosure for them. And we actually work with a charity called Spinisco out there in South America. So what we do is we support their work. They actually create areas where the penguins can hunt, which means people can't go and fish there. They also create protected areas for them to nest. So they might have to put some fences up, things like that. And as well as that, they'll also educate local people and just get them to maybe wait until the penguin nesting season's over. They've all gone out to sea before they take that guano for fertiliser. So it's just all about education. So if you do want to help with that, you can actually adopt a penguin in the gift shop. I think it's around £30, and a portion of that money goes out to protecting these guys in the wild, and the rest of that we'll use here to help buy the fish for our penguins. They are very classy, just cost quite a bit to feed the penguins, especially going into molt. Like I said, they can eat maybe 2.5 buckets full of fish a day, which is quite a lot. So yeah, that's just a little bit about our penguins. So I'll leave the talk there. Me and Mike will be around if you want to ask us any questions at all. I'll try and point out some individuals as well, and hopefully Rico might join us. He might come over here as Mike with the food bucket.
Sorry, have you got a few minutes?
Yeah.
So Rico's the offspring of Mars and Lindor. Now Mars and Lindor are a fantastic pair. They've been together for a while now. We mentioned that Humboldt's are monogamous.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one told Rico's dad that they're supposed to be monogamous.
Conveniently.
So what he was doing, he would now he's a good father. He's like I say, he's been the father of many chicks here. But last year, for some reason, he was. We found that he took a liking to another penguin called Toodles, who was over there a few minutes ago. So what we found he was doing, he was spending his night times at home with his wife and child, and then in the daytimes he was going off with Toodles and spending time in her nest box.
Naughty
with her.
boy.
So he was a very, very unpopular penguin with our female keepers at the time. So eventually he stopped going home less and less, and then eventually he stopped altogether. Basically he became the father who went out for a packet of cigarettes and never came back home and just spent his time with Toodles. So Lindor was left holding the baby by herself. Now she's a very good mum, she's raised many chicks, but with her doing it solo, obviously it took its toll, and we weighed him every day like we always do when we have new chicks, and he was losing weight every day, and eventually the vet said to us, you will have to intervene. So yeah, so we had to, it's the first time we've ever had to do it in all these years of having penguin chicks. First time we've ever had to intervene. So he came down to the clinic with us, we gave him we fed him blended fish, so we mixed it, like we filleted fish and blended it with water, so it made like this fish soup which we'd syringe feed to him. And yeah, he became very humanised, he became very used to living with people. But as soon as he was big enough to eat full-size fish, we brought him up here and lived with the penguins, and he's a happy little penguin, but he still remembers the time he spent with us. So whenever we're around, he's always straight up. He's like, oh, you know, people, you're my friends. So he likes to follow us around the place.
That's a Patagonian Mara.
It looks a bit like a capybara, but with longer legs.
It's very cute. I think it's coming over. So yeah, that's the Patagonian Mara. Cute little thing, isn't it? So we're going to take on the nature walk now. This is the home to the Vietnamese cicadea. Once again, special gates, two-way gates to prevent animals escaping. And we have got some hand sanitisers as well on this side.
And the amount of people that don't know how to work the airlock gate is unbelievable.
Oh no, I can see the deer. There's a lot from here. They're a lovely colour, these deer.
Mambi.
It looks like they're all in the shade over here, either in that kind of hut thing or under that tree there. Must be hot for them. Yeah, they're all hiding in the shade. Yeah, it must be really hot for them today.
Well, it is hot, isn't it?
I know, but I always kind of thought Vietnam would be like a lot hotter, but
I don't know, really. I don't know what climate's like.
no, I haven't been either. Very colourful. There's the penguin area. I think this comes out over there actually, to be fair. So that's the end of the first half of the nature walk. There is another half, but I don't think any of the deer will be over there. I think they're all over here, so there's some here. Now they do also have alpacas here at Peak. I'm going to be honest, this is the pen they're supposed to be in, but I can't actually see any at the moment. I'll go round because it does raise up there, so maybe they're behind this this very big hill. Now, I did wonder where the alpacas were before, but actually I've spotted them. There's this little shaded area for them, so it looks like they're just sitting in there. Yeah, that's the baby one. So yeah, there's your alpacas. This little baby one by the look of it. That little farmyard area here. So this is the weather predicting tortoise here at Peak Wildlife. It's a bit of a celebrity round here. His name's Jack. So this is your pig stop. You can get a daily guided tour with the Kung Kung pigs. I think they're in this paddock here, so we'll see if we can spot them. It's right next to the African village with the goats. No, we won't go with the goats again.
Goated out.
We'll goat it out today.
Alicia, come on.
Might be a bit warm for the pigs today though. Just can't see them out. Oh, I can see them in there. Sitting there in the little house. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but they are in their house. There's a little zebra there though. The zebra's called Kayla, but she's all the way over there, if you can see her at all.
My favourite activity is flirting with Horus.
Is Horus another zebra, I assume, or is it a wallaby on the other side that she's into? We're here now in the wallaby walkway, so you get to walk with the wallabies. Go see the wallabies, eh? Looks like it's probably a bit warm for them today, isn't it?
They're always on the other side of the shade.
There's some here in the shade as well. Here's a question though, is a wallaby a kangaroo?
Yeah, it's a wallaby.
Both animals are in the macropod family though. So they are very similar creatures. Say you want to make a new friend, it's simple, take a knee and wait for one to hop to you. They like to be stroked gently as well. Don't know if these wallabies will come to me, but we'll try. Hello. Hello. No, I don't think they're bothered. See if we can spot some more maybe friendlier wallabies. I can see a couple. And get around over this side. I think it's very hot for them today because they're all just kind of chilling around in whatever shade they can find. Well, that one there is nice. Hello. I think that one's got a baby as well in its pouch. I think so. You can see the legs stretching out. Yeah, I think that one's got a baby. Oh yeah, can you see the little one? That's cute. Yeah. Little baby one popping out of the pouch. That is cute, isn't it? And he's back down again.
There's a little one.
Oh.
I think it's both. You can get a ton of different species of wallabies, so I think they're all based in like different areas, whether it's colder, rockier, sunnier. But these guys are a lot more calmer compared to kangaroos. I would not like seeing one with a kangaroo.
No?
It's very aggressive. You did not? Oh, there's another one here. Is that a boy?
Lindsay's found one. Can go say hello. Oh, that's sweet. You like being gently stroked?
It's having a dream like Barn, look.
Oh.
You're lovely. You come home with me, eh? You come home with me. Yes, you are so lovely. Yes, you are.
How adorable that one is.
That little tiny one over there. They just asked him how you find how you know whether they're boys or girls, and they said you actually don't until they reach sexual maturity. There's no way of knowing.
Oh.
But like them two there are clearly boys.
Yeah.
But that little one there, because it's not reached sexual maturity, they don't know whether it's a boy or a girl.
So I think that kid over there is taking part in the like the feeding thing that you can pay extra to do, like the penguin one I bought you.
Like it.
Which is cute, isn't it? Really nice experience that you get to kind of just feed them. I think this is what's really nice against the normal zoo, that you can go up to them and give them a stroke if they're happy too. And
yeah. Like that one was just lying there and loads of people just come stroked it, so I thought, wow, I'll have a go now.
so look, he's got a carrot there. See if that little one wants a carrot. He's a biggie one. There's another one over here. They're lovely, aren't they? They are lovely dudes. They're very cute. Ooh. It's a lovely experience here to do things like this. Get up close and personal with animals like this. Look at this little lad.
Yeah, that's good.
A girl.
Well, I ain't got any nuts, so.
Hello. I am definitely not the wallaby whisperer.
I do not want to be on your video, James. Leave me alone.
Get that camera out of my face. Oh, he's had enough, he's going back in. Yeah, and it's not a timed experience either, so you can actually stay in here as long as you want with these wallabies. We're going to go in the with the lemurs now.
The lemurs. That one's really good. Wow.
Yeah, that's a little one. And sanitise before we go into the next one. And it's like we got lemurs and goats in here.
Not more goats.
More goats for you. So yeah, in this experience you get to walk with the goats again. And the lemurs, if you have a look, there's one there. Look at that one. Hello, mate. That one there is cute as well, when you look at him. He's adorable. Get to walk with the lemurs. I think they've got more than one variety here as well. And the goats. They are very friendly, the wallabies, aren't they? They are very friendly, the wallabies here. So he's feeding them now from that branch. Well, that's a lovely experience. Oh look, there's two. They're lovely, aren't they? No, I think it's only one. There's quite a big pack of them there, Lynn's over by this hut here, all cuddling up together. So yeah, they've got three different species of lemurs in here. So we've got the black lemurs, I think we saw them at the start, the ring-tailed lemur, and black and white ruffed lemurs. indoor enclosure as well. All the kind of expected stuff you get. So we've come over to the warty pig area. It's got a big enclosure, but it's quite well guarded, to be fair, with all this kind of wood, so you can't see anything around. I don't think he's out, but there's plenty of places for him to kind of hide. We have got otters here. I don't know if you can spot any in here though. They're a bit hit and miss with them. They are big otters, they are giant short claw otters, but it's hit and miss, and especially with the heat you might not see anything in there.
No, you can't. They must be in the house.
I'm going to pop a bit round here and see if I can see them, but I think you said you couldn't, could you? Got quite a little area here for them to roam around. It is next to the kids' indoor play area as well. I don't think you can see them from here though. The kids' indoor play area. No, there's no access to the otters, so they must all be indoor, and unfortunately there's no kind of view into the indoor area. I think that's the only downside here, is that when they are indoor, like at other zoos, you'll be able to kind of go in and see the indoor area and see them in there, but unfortunately here they don't do that. You've got a kind of food area. We have eaten here before, and they do some really nice home cooked pizzas, sandwiches, stuff like that. Outdoor seating area. It's called the Peak Cafe. And there used to be a lot more seating here, and there was like some animals and bits, but it looks like they're doing something over here. I'm not sure what they're doing, and if they're like making it look nicer, or whether it's going to be a new attraction or something. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So this is one of the cool things I wanted to point out. So if you go down here, you can actually see animal prints in the concrete. Probably, I think it's deliberate. So it looks like kind of chicken feet or some kind of bird's feet. Like they do a sheep meet and greet here, where you get to go in with the sheep, maybe guided. I think you can walk with the sheep anyway. They are quite nice sheep. They're sharing the enclosure with some more goats. So yeah, these are Valais black nose sheep. I do think they didn't look like kind of your standard farmyard style sheep. But you meet them at 10:30. I actually don't think you can go meet them any other time, because it looks like it's closed. And we're here at the rabbit hole. Got some giant rabbits here. We're going to have a look at them. In we go. Just getting the special gates to stop them from escaping.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So these are Flemish giant rabbits here.
Which is very old for a big one. The other two are only 2, so they're fine. Parsley, getting a bit of an old lady. She has got eyes, even though people don't think she has. She's just sticking up.
Got their little cabins. That's cute. That one's called Carrot Cabin. I think that's where they live. This one's in his cabin.
Where's the
And there's one there under the bench.
Where is the
There's a couple under there, isn't there? No, just the one. Just really big, aren't they?
Should we go find the white one?
Dug his way in, Auntie. Hello, little buddy. Is it hot? It is very hot. Hello. So she said this bunny rabbit is 7 years old, which is apparently old for a giant Flemish rabbit.
No.
Oh, isn't he lovely, that rabbit? It is cute, that, isn't it? The rabbits are lovely. That's a Flemish giant rabbit.
Flemish?
Flemish.
How do you know it's Flemish?
Because it says there on that sign, Flemish giant rabbit. Where are you if you're Flemish? From Flem. You say from Flem. I think it's from Flem if you're Flemish.
That big bunny there, bro.
Oh, Belgian.
Belgium. That's where we should have been, Plopsaland. This side we've got the kids' play area, the jungle bounce, and the outdoor kids' play area. So we've got some Bolivian squirrel monkeys. I think these are new. I don't remember seeing these on our last visit. Got quite a big enclosure, so I don't know if more are coming in the future or... Oh no, there's a different one there, a white one as well. So yeah, there's some more in here, but I think they're kind of below, and I don't think they're the same kind of tamarins. Yeah, they're under the shelf, so you can't actually see them, unfortunately, in this big one. I guess a lot of them may be indoors, but there is one that's spotted on the other side, but he's under the shelving area, probably in the shade. But yeah, this is definitely new. This wasn't here last time we came to Peak Wildlife. Yeah, nice. I was just saying a moment ago, just have some monkeys. And they have. So yeah, we got the tapirs here. If we can spot any. Got a big pond here for them to swim in. Have you spotted any, Lynn? No. I think they're over there in that shade, I think. You know that tree there?
Is that a rock?
I think it might be a rock. That's the only question, is it a rock or a tapir? Do you think see him in there? Oh yeah. Having something to eat. Is there only one, or are there multiple ones and the others might be roaming out here? I can't spot any others. Oh, there is. There's one up there. I like really, really small deers, aren't they? Very cute. Kirk's Dick. We're going to go in the walk with squirrels. This was the latest attraction they put in just after COVID. They started reopening, so we'll have a look. You're not allowed food and drink. Squirrels may take them. So this isn't any normal squirrels. These are the rare red squirrels. You don't see them very often now in the UK. This was part of a rehabilitation project. We didn't actually manage to spot any when we last came. Let's see if we hopefully get a bit of better luck this time. So yeah, in the UK, these used to be the only squirrels we had. But what happened is they imported the grey squirrels, got across, and they were resilient to certain diseases that they passed on to the reds. And unfortunately, all the reds were kind of wiped out. But like I say, a lot of these kind of zoos and places are trying to rehabilitate them and get them back up in the wild as well. See if we can spot any there, because they are supposed to be red. So they should kind of stick out a little bit in the trees. But yeah, like I said, last time we came, this had only just been opened, and we spent quite a bit of time and we didn't see anything. I think we're going to have a very similar look here this time. I don't think it's our lucky day today. I don't think we're going to spot any. I guess with it being quite new as well, they're not quite used to humans yet, so maybe with time and kind of with people exploring the area more, they will start becoming more friendly. I remember we went to Florida last year, not last year, a couple of years ago, and in Universal I bought a voodoo donut, and a squirrel came right up to me, and I was hand feeding it some of my donuts, so you can get them friendly and come up to you. I don't think we're going to see any red squirrels about here today. Then they've got their own kind of place where they go at night as well here. So they could all be in there, to be fair, who knows. Can you hear our red squirrels? Let's take a moment and see if we can hear anything. I did just hear one there, but I can't see any. No, it's a bit of a shame. I don't want to linger in here forever. There are definitely some in here because you can hear them. As is traditional with the UK attractions, the exit is through the gift shop, so we're going to have a quick look in there and see what they've got in the gift shop. Penguin. Lindsay loves a little penguin. Usually every time we see a penguin she has to have one, so we'll see what she thinks. Now these take me back to being a child. Pick and mix animals. 2 for £1 or 6 for 3. That's really good actually. Used to play with things like that as a kid all the time. Pin badges here. Meerkat mobster. Water pig partner. Not seen anything for penguins yet though. There might be somewhere else for penguins. We've got the full collection here, I think. We've got penguin protector. Plenty of different pins. Yeah, we've certainly got plenty of them. What price are the pin badges? $4.99. Fridge magnets, pencils. Got quite a lot of different bits and pieces here, different bits of merchandise. Aquarium area. That's something they could do. Put in a little fish area, an aquarium. Quite nice. Well, that draws the end to our day here at Peak Wildlife. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. Hope it's given you some ideas, especially if you are visiting the area for Alton Towers. Like I say, it's 5 minutes away, so it's definitely worth the trip. A couple of hours. Get to have such good experiences like walking with the wallabies and the lemurs. So I could definitely recommend it. Like I say, great price as well, $14.95. Well, thanks for watching today. If you have enjoyed it, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you again soon.